Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. The Bitcoin price has surpassed $21,000, $22,000 resistances and ranged to rise above a new high of $23,000 on the 17th of December. Meanwhile, on-chain analyst Willy Woo now says $100,000 per Bitcoin is ridiculously low. I chose this one because it was the first one that popped up. There are a lot of people who are coming forward and saying that the target price for Bitcoin of 100K, 200K, that these are all ridiculously low numbers, and there's a little pretty chart right there. The $21,000 level was particularly important for Bitcoin to continue its rally. In the near term, exchange heat maps, showed stacked sell orders around 21,000 to 21,500, which meant Bitcoin's price had to break through to see a broader uptrend. And there's a chart that I can barely see why they make that so light. Exchange heat maps show no visible resistance levels in areas with large sell orders above $22,000. In the short term, this means the probability of Bitcoin continuing its rally is high due to the optimistic market sentiment and the sell-side crisis. Wu said the BTC top cap model shows $100,000 is a ridiculously low target. He said, "We are not at all-time high juncture where the Bitcoin top cap model shows curving upwards. We see how high she runs in 2021. 100K is ridiculously low. As a target at the current trajectory, 55K is the next landmark. Bitcoin becomes a $1 trillion macro asset bucket." That's a weird sentence, and I know it's not just me. As it stands right now, everyone is quite bullishly optimistic. I saw no news about negativity. All the people who were talking about that Bitcoin had to drop back down to 9,000, 12,000, 15,000 have disappeared. How weird is that they were all wrong? So odd, right? So anyway, the point is, everyone's expecting Bitcoin's price to go up. Understand, it is not going to be a straight lineup. We are going to have days and probably a lot of weeks where we are going to be fluctuating like crazy just because everyone's fighting to try and lower the prices and also accumulate as much Bitcoin as they possibly can. A lot of new players are getting into the space and they want to try and accumulate Bitcoin at lower prices when they should have just been buying before. But for some reason, when the price goes a lot higher, this somehow reignites their desire to get into the space. This one says Bitcoin leaps toward $25,000 less than 24 hours after hitting 20K. This one says the CEO of one of the largest crypto-focused investment firms, firms, said he expects a group of altcoins to outperform Bitcoin in an extended bull market. In a new interview with Real Vision, Dan Moorhead says Bitcoin is set to skyrocket in the months ahead, but he believes it has less room to rise than certain altcoins. And I agree with him, and you'll see why. He said it's easy to kind of be extremist on cryptocurrencies, and some people think it's all one versus all other. Why do people talk this way? I keep going through articles and like the placement of words and the things like that just don't make a lot of sense. And I don't know if it's my brain, maybe not. I don't know what's going on, but it's all one versus all another. That's not English, right? It's not just me. He said, "I think there's going to be a single-digit number of very important blockchains in the long run. There won't be 2,000, but there won't be just one." He said, "So we all invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP. Now I actually think the other cryptocurrencies are going to outperform Bitcoin. This isn't to inspire a bunch of hate and trolling. Bitcoin is going to go up a ton, but I just think other things can outperform it. And partly, it's just that Bitcoin is the mega cap. It can't go up and down as much as the tiny small cap do. I think we're in a massive bull market, so the smaller cap things have high beta. They're going to outperform Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 62% of the average." Okay, I can't follow that speech pattern anymore. It's just giving me a headache. I agree with him because this has happened before. If this was something relatively brand new, I would go, okay, maybe that's not going to happen. But typically, we've spoken about this before. We've even seen this the last couple of days. If Bitcoin goes up by 4%, the altcoins tend to go up by 9%. If Bitcoin is going up by 18%, the altcoins tend to go up by 25%. It's just what happens with the smaller cap coins that are now like also in the billions. So that's also a little funny. We're still getting very high price predictions for some of the top 10 coins. If you're following the pattern we keep getting news about two specific coins. It is Bitcoin. Say it with me. It's always the top three that we keep getting the kind of news about. And I also find it quite fascinating that we keep getting news about XRP accumulation, or stating that we purchased XRP, because that wasn't in the news before. So I assume there was a lot of quiet accumulation going on. I still have my relative price targets for these coins. For Ethereum, it was 4,000, but I think I was just lying to myself. I think we will at least 4x from where we previously were before. So I think it's somewhere around 8,000 for me for Ether as a relative price target. And XRP, I'm still aiming for 10. I assume we're going to at least 3x the previous all-time high. So anyway, yeah, I think a lot of altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin percentage-wise. But when you talk about Bitcoin going to 300K, no other coin is going to be able to do that. Unless it's like wrapped Bitcoin, but then it's wrapped Bitcoin. So anyway, let's move on. Also, of course, in the news, Bitcoin's parabolic run has turned early miners into millionaires at a pace rarely seen before. Data from Glassnode shows that the number of Bitcoin addresses holding at least $1 million has skyrocketed to 66,540 addresses this week, an increase of 150%. The rise of millionaire wallets is attributable to early miners retaining their Bitcoin over the years, accumulating with the asset's latest surge above $20,000. I assume a lot of people are going to be making a lot of money and have already made a lot of money. And especially if you are purchasing the right altcoins or the right Bitcoin, because there's only one, you're going to make money in the long term. But this is kind of like loosely the news that we were getting before. Like the amount of Bitcoin addresses holding an entire Bitcoin has risen. The entire addresses of holding one Ethereum has also risen. So I assume this kind of ties into it as well. Like the number of addresses who are now like mega rich has also risen. That's only going to continue to happen should prices continue rising higher, but it seems logical at this point. That's, I think, all the price news. There wasn't a lot. Not to say that there wasn't a lot, but it's kind of all the exact same thing. They're all going over the fact that Bitcoin passed by this. Where's Bitcoin going next? Bitcoin's at 23,000. Next stop, 25,000. And I just assumed you didn't want like 38 tabs of the exact same thing because it just would have been a bit weird. So let's move on. In major news that I think should have been a lot more popular, if you will, next year, cryptocurrency exchange Kraken will hire a dedicated team that will focus on the implementation of Bitcoin's Lightning Network on the platform, a company spokesperson told Decrypt today. If you have no idea what Lightning Network is, don't feel too sad. Lightning Network was something that was proposed in 2016 and started to begin to be implemented in 2017. It was meant as a side chain, another layer, I don't care what you call it, that would allow people, similar to staking, where you lock your coins into Ethereum to be able to make more Ethereum. You would be able to lock your coins inside of the Lightning Network that would create like payment channels. So let's say you locked up 0.15%, or rather like 0.15 Bitcoin into the actual Lightning Network. You would be able to have a payment channel that other people would kind of be able to flow through. So you would be like that channel's operator, and every time that a payment went through the network, through your network, you would be paid through compensation. It's a great idea, but very few people have wanted to implement it. We had news before that people were losing their coins. Not sure if that's actually true. It makes a lot more sense the more Bitcoin is worth. The entire idea is that all the transactions will be happening through the Lightning Network, and at certain points of the day, certain points in time, it would basically kind of like reconnect with the Bitcoin core and kind of say that these transactions had happened, and then it would be written on Bitcoin. So all these transactions will be happening on Lightning, and the entire idea was that eventually it would get so robust and have so many people who were on it that we'd be able to do 1 million transactions per second through Bitcoin. This is why I've stated before, like many other coins keep saying, like, I'm faster, I can do so and so and so. And I'm like, we have the technology for this for Bitcoin. It's a matter of it simply being implemented the exact same way that it took a while for SegWit to finally be, taken through exchanges and stuff like that. So what the main idea is, this works best. I was like tangled in the cord. This works best the higher that Bitcoin's price is. So if you are locking in an entire Bitcoin, you'd be able to have at the moment $23,000 worth of value kind of going through it. If Bitcoin's at $1 million and you have 10,000 Satoshis and one Satoshi is a US dollar, you would essentially be able to carry any transactions from $100,000 and lower, which means that you, here's where it kind of gets sticky isn't the word, but it's going to get sticky and tricky in the future because regulations. So if the Lightning Network does succeed, and everyone is able to open up their own Lightning Network node, and let's say you yourself have 0.28 Bitcoin. You're part of the 1% of Bitcoin holders in the world. And you decide to open up a channel for 0.1 Bitcoin. So everything worth $1 million equivalent and less can pass through your network. You're also going to be getting paid actual Satoshi fees for people to pass through your network very quickly. But then you kind of also essentially become a little bank, because you're allowing tens of thousands of millions of transactions to pass through your node every single day, all the time. And even before, what we heard, or that the actual current fee, it's very weird because it's a very big discussion, so I'll try and breeze through it quickly. The current fee for using someone's transaction node, whatever you want to call it, payment network, is around 1 Satoshi. It's not a lot, but then you get to the discussion of if Bitcoin does go to 100K, if Bitcoin does go to 500,000, if Bitcoin does go to 1 million, and you have a payment network that allows $100,000 transactions and less to pass through you, and you're getting paid 1 Satoshi per transaction as like an actual thing, for people to have the actual, the word is in kindness, quickness, for them to be able to have a transaction that goes in exactly 1 second through the security of the Bitcoin network. And at the end of the day, you are collecting, let's say even 30,000 transactions have passed through you. That's 30,000 Satoshis that you're getting. It equates to $30,000. You understand? So it works best if Bitcoin is higher in price. And up until this point, we've had people in 2018 who were trying to really make it a thing, and it kind of faltered. And I assumed that by the end of 2019, we would hear that there would be support for it from like the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, because they were thinking of creating their own cryptocurrency exchanges. And the idea still kind of is that Bitcoin is cool as a store of value and as like a digital gold, but it's even better if we can really use it. Like, imagine if Bitcoin is actual gold store value. Everyone has it inside of vaults, yada, yada, yada. But at the same exact time, it has 1 million transactions per second, and you can use it anywhere around the world at any time to pay for anything. The value of it continues to skyrocket. So bringing it all back, I had to explain kind of what it was in very loose terms so you kind of understand why this is very significant, because it's been built for a couple of years now, and people thought that this would be the implementation of what would bring Bitcoin into the foreground, because once again, it's cool to lock it up in caves and stuff like that, but if we can actually use Bitcoin to buy everything, Bitcoin's value continues to rise even higher. They said in 2021, we are committed to hiring a team to focus specifically on the Lightning Network as part of our continuing effort to deliver the best possible experience for traders and investors. We expect to allow clients to withdraw and deposit. Wow. We expect to allow clients to withdraw and deposit Bitcoin on Lightning for the first half of 2021. Holy wow. Which will allow clients to move their Bitcoin instantly and with the lowest fees. Imagine now don't get angry with me. The value prospect of every other coin plummets to zero if Bitcoin has, even if Bitcoin has 30,000 transactions per second through Lightning. Like, if Lightning isn't as big as we were talking about, it could possibly be to 1 million transactions per second. If Bitcoin can do 30,000 transactions per second at a fraction of Lightning's capacity, your network fee is 1 Satoshi as opposed to $3, $18, $24. You get what I'm hinting at? What's the reason for other cryptocurrencies then if Bitcoin can do everything else that they can do? What happens when Bitcoin gets to layers where it has private transactions? What happens to the other privacy coins? What happens when Bitcoin has another layer similar to Lightning that allows it to do DeFi? Like I said before, these are computers, and you just have to kind of upgrade them. As Decrypt explained, the Lightning Network is a second-layer solution developed for the Bitcoin blockchain. It helps better scale the network by taking some of the load off a lot of the load. It is made up of a system of channels that allow people to move money without needing to use the Bitcoin blockchain to verify every transaction as it happens. So it basically like clusters up all the transactions. The only way that the first way that it was explained to me was kind of like Imagine like a door that kind of like lets everything through it, but the door has all the information. Eventually, at some point, kind of like reconnects with the network and injects like the information into Bitcoin to say like this batch of transactions happened. They are actually real, and then it kind of goes back up. I can't really explain it that well. The point is, major news. It wasn't really covered as much, if you will, because of all the price movements and everything kind of going up. But I think this is going to be major. If we get news at any point that Binance or Coinbase is also going to be using or implementing the Lightning Network, if I wasn't bullish on Bitcoin before, I don't think I can't go much higher in my optimism for Bitcoin. If this works out for Kraken, and Kraken has instantaneous transactions and people start using Kraken more because the fee is 1 Satoshi, everyone's going to start using Kraken. That takes away money from the other cryptocurrency exchanges, and then they go, we also have to use Lightning. And then Bitcoin has 1 million transactions per second. Once you know how little 1 Satoshi is? Even if a Satoshi is on parity to a US dollar, no one would really mind that in the future. If you're trying to send a transaction worth 1.4 million Satoshis or $1.4 million, and the fee is $1 as opposed to like 3 to 4% that banks charge you right now, no one would care. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. Anyway, that's the Kraken news, if you will. I'm very excited about it. I don't know if anyone else is, but the point is, it's happening. So I give it three years maybe to have like full across the board implementation of Lightning. And that's going to be a little bit crazy. And without further ado, let's move on. In news that should shock no one because we all kind of saw this coming, Coinbase is adding 2 tech industry veterans to its board of directors as the exchange prepares to go public with an IPO. CEO and founder of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, says in a press release that Cisco's former CEO, Kelly Kramer, is joining the exchange's board of directors. Kramer's arrival pairs with seasoned venture capitalist Mark Anderson. Transition from board of observer to the board of director, yada, yada, yada. The new board members were revealed as Coinbase announces filing for an IPO. Coinbase is trying to go public. They filed something with the SEC. Here's the actual thing right here. We should have all known that Coinbase wasn't content being one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, that they wanted to, of course, go public. They filed the thing with the SEC. Assumption, it was probably filed before. I doubt that they just did this right now. They probably have had this in the works for a very long time. If Coinbase goes public, they're going to make tons of money. That additional money will hopefully allow them to update their system so they don't keep crashing all the time that people keep using them. But it's only going to cause more money to flow into the cryptocurrency space. So the major news for today is that Coinbase is trying to go public. They're going to go public. I assume they're going to raise a lot of money. People have been asking me about crypto stocks. I'm pretty sure I already told you how I feel or felt in one of the other videos. If you are betting big on crypto, I would maybe just aim towards crypto. I don't think that Coinbase's stock, whatever it comes out as or whatever, is going to outperform the value of Bitcoin or many other altcoins, especially not in the short term. I don't think that Coinbase's stock is going to do a 20x like Bitcoin or many other coins are going to do. Anyway, the point is Coinbase is going to go public. Wonderful. Cool. Love that Coinbase. They're always online and never going down. Gotta love them. Next up, Slide is adding cryptocurrency as a payment option through BitPay, a crypto payment provider based in the United States. The Slide app is already widespread across the United States, being used for 150 retailers across approximately 100,000 stores all over the country. This includes some of the United States' biggest chains, including Home Improvement, Lowe's, and popular Mexican grill Chipotle. I think that's Chipotle. I'm joking. Now, customers of these stores can turn to cryptocurrency as a new means of payment. Wonderful. Cool. Absolutely fantastic. Cryptocurrency is going to be offered as a payment method for everything. If you didn't catch the hint already, everyone's trying to integrate it. Everyone's trying to figure out of how to get you to spend your crypto with them. I appreciate the efforts that they're allowing crypto and Bitcoin and XRP and Litecoin and yada yada to be used as a payment method. I myself am not going to be using any of that anytime soon. No, 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 no. But I do think in the future, when, I'll say if, because who knows, if we get to the point where Bitcoin is on parity with the US, first of all, once Bitcoin passes by 200 something thousand, the US dollar is already kind of gone. So if Bitcoin ever gets to $1 million value per coin, I think it'll become quite commonplace for everyone to use it. Goes the same exact thing with the Lightning Network. Anyway, the point is, Bitcoin's being added as another payment method to another platform. Not really surprised. For those of you who weren't here at I think it was the end of 2018, when the New York Stock Exchange had announced their backed BAKKT platform, where they had partnered with 150 other stores, and it was like Nordstrom and Kabukala and all these other, I don't know the other places, but it's going to be quite commonplace. Where was I yesterday? I don't remember. I was ordering food or something like that. I was ordering food online, and they actually had Bitcoin as a payment option, and I was like, that's wild. Anyway, Bitcoin payment news stuff, and let's move on. And of course, this was going to happen news. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the first to list Bitcoin futures in December 2017, has announced that they are going to be launching Ether futures next year in February. Just like Bitcoin futures, the CME Ether futures will be cash settled based on the CME CF Ether dollar reference rate. Tom McCourt, CME Group Global Head of Equity Index and Alternative Investment Protocol, said, based on the increasing client demand and robust growth in our Bitcoin futures and options markets, we believe the addition of Ether futures will provide our clients with a variable tool to trade and hedge this growing cryptocurrency. Ethereum is the second largest crypto by both market cap and daily volume. The introduction of listed Ether futures to our time-tested, regulated... Oh gosh, okay, stop. Anyway, Ether futures are going to be added to the CME in February. Will this have any profound effect on Ether's price? Shrug. Nobody knows. Whenever there was any other Bitcoin futures that was being added to any other platform, Bitcoin's price would usually see a little uptick. But I think the only ones that really matter are the ones that are actual Bitcoin settled. So the cash settled ones are done as an implementation to allow other people who are not yet comfortable with getting into the cryptocurrency space. That was terrible. Sorry. I was saying I was talking like this. It allows a lot of other people who are not comfortable with getting into the cryptocurrency space to be able to have an entryway into crypto, but they're still not actually trading the actual crypto. And this is only going to become an issue for them in the future when they realize, in a very terrible aha moment, that they should have not only been trading in the actual currencies, but they should have also owned the actual currencies, because anything that's cash based is going to be devalued by the fall of the US dollar. So tis what it is. Anyway, yeah, CME is going to be launching Ether futures. Might be a spike in price. This will also allow other people to know that Ether is a thing and that they should probably be getting to the actual asset, and then the wheel continues turning, money, 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 yada, yada, yada. Let's move on. Next up, CI Financial Corporation, one of the biggest mutual fund managers in Canada, has recently completed a $72 million fundraise through the initial public offering of its Bitcoin fund. In a statement to Bloomberg on Wednesday, December 16th, CI Financial IPO had sold shares at around $12 Canadian. CI Financial will co-manage their fund with Galaxy Digital Management, who will serve as a Bitcoin sub-advisor. Besides, Galaxy Digital will also execute the Bitcoin trading on behalf of the fund. I don't have to go any further. This is part of the, not a bank, but it's like institutional whatever who's getting into the Bitcoin space, buying up millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin every single day. Can't get away from it. And I think there was even more of news like this that I simply just don't have in this video, because you see we're covering a lot of topics. There's so many things that are going on, it's impossible for me to keep up. Even the other day when I was making like 2 or 3 videos a day, it's impossible. Like I physically cannot do it. Like there's so much news constantly coming out. I'm sitting here like, okay, gotta make another video. Anyway, a very rich company in Canada is raising millions of dollars to put into Bitcoin, because that's what everyone's doing right now. And let's move on. Also in quite popular news, The German word for securities is Wertpapieren, or papers of worth. It sounds weird when you say it that way, which may soon be as outdated as nocturnal traders saying they're burning the midnight oil. Per a Reuters report from Wednesday, Merkel's cabinet has passed a new law that will end the requirement to have a paper certificate for the sale of a security, overtly looking to advance blockchain trading within the country. German Finance Minister Olaf Scholz reportedly said the paper certificate may be dear to some for nostalgic reasons, but the future belongs to the electronic version. The finance ministry called the shift to an electronic securities a component of its broader blockchain strategy. Germany has been at the kind of the forefront. They're like in third place, fourth place. When it comes to cryptocurrency adoption, they have great tax laws, 0% for cryptocurrencies if you hold it for over a year. We heard all the banks at the beginning of the year who were talking about getting into the cryptocurrency space to buy, sell, hold, trade crypto. I assume a lot of that news has been hampered by any type of news around 19. It's kind of, taken over the news, if you will. We heard things before. It was more so 2018 and 2019 that Germany was trying to make their blockchain network system more robust, or apply blockchain to more things within government. So I assume this is just another part of it, because we haven't heard a lot about it in a while, but I assume it's still happening. The entire idea of the digitization of securities, or the digitization of anything with wealth, so that it can be fractionalized. Oh my gosh. If you guys weren't here before, we used to have so many discussions about this. Like the idea that, I forgot which person, whatever, said this years ago. He was like, the idea in the future is, imagine you have like a self-driving car. And I know some of you remember this story. He was like, imagine if you have a self-driving car, like this is the world where everything is digitized. And you own that car with 5 of your friends, because on the blockchain, it says that you and the 5 of your friends have like an equal portion of that car. And you use that self-driving car to allow people to it's like its own Uber. It drives around by itself, constantly picking up people. And every time that it picks up somebody, people either pay from their watch or pay from their phone or pay for whatever that they're paying for. But you and your friends instantaneously get the payments from that actual car that's driving around. So it's this idea in the future that everything that has value will be able to be digitized and will be able to be fractionalized. Like we saw this last year as well, where I think a Picasso or something like that was sold, and it was sold to I think 300 people because they bought like fractions of it, and people were like, it's kind of cool. I was able to buy a fraction of a Picasso by putting 25,000 because I didn't have the initial, the 30 million to be able to put into it. So in the future, investing will be the same, similar to cryptocurrencies, like being able to buy fractions of whatever that you kind of want, or like even if it's you and 10 of your friends to be able to buy a nice car that's worth 50,000. You all put in 5,000. The car drives around all day, self-driving by itself, picking up people, and you're basically making it's super passive income because you're not driving the car yourself. So this is a fragment of it. It's the digitization of everything, so that in the future, even if you want to buy stocks, you don't have to buy an entire stock that's worth $1,500. You can buy $10 of it every single month because you like that company. So anyway, kind of cool. I like news like this, and let's move on. And to finish things off, don't even have to go too deep into this one. Fidelity Investments CEO Abby Johnson has said that the mutual fund giant's custody business around Bitcoin has been incredibly successful and has a tremendous pipeline. In an interview with Barron's, Johnson said the developments in the sector are moving so rapidly, it's hard to keep track of them all, and said things that have long been talked about in the sector are now starting to become reality. The interview with Johnson can be watched here, and yada, yada, yada. Unless you want to watch it, then you can find it, because I'm not going to be linking to this. I have this here because when all these people started getting into the cryptocurrency space, I made sure to mention before, I said other people will rapidly get into the space when the big names announce how much money they've made or how well it's been working out for them. A lot of these things have been tests. So it was a test when the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq said they're getting into it, when Fidelity is getting into it, when MicroStrategy and Grayscale and everyone else is getting into it as well. These were like mini tests. I'm sure they believed in the market, but it becomes a reality when people start to see during a quarter at the end of the year, oh, they made 1.5 billion by doing what we should have been doing. We also have to get into this market. Fidelity says that just their custody business has been absolutely wonderful, and they've made X amount of millions of dollars. We also have to get into the exact same thing. So this only helps to increase adoption even more. I mean, it's so weird to think how far we've come And even the news with the guy talking about that Bitcoin should right now be 400,000 and how undervalued it is. If that's just with the cryptocurrency space right now, imagine if when we 10x the amount of people who are in our market. It's just such a weird, I don't think my brain can actually compute all the complex numbers that are going through it. Like if we're undervalued now, what happens when we 10x the amount of people in our market who are like trying to gather up Satoshis? I'm telling you, the moment's going to come. Heed my words. You are going to have a friend one day who's going to brag to you that they managed to acquire 68,000 Satoshis, and they're going to think that they are wealthy and rich. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I give it about 2 or 3 years. Your friend's going to tell you, I bought 0.0001 Bitcoin. Dude, I can't believe I got so lucky to have that much. And you're going to look at them like, yeah, dude, you are super gosh darn lucky. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Crypto Stahl, George Montoya, Wiselink, not TMI, Conan, don't skip leg day. Is that a threat or is that like a phrase? Conan, don't skip leg day. Wait, Conan, don't skip leg day. Conan, don't skip leg day. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, comma. Snacky Chan, Tolik Banana. Why did I do that? Tolik Banana, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Moroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxes, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test every day, and Kyle Skip Leg Day. Yes to crypto. Bodemic Boatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. I keep seeing so many of you every single day. Hello to everyone out there. Thank you to everyone for all of your support. It is a wild ride, and I am glad that you are all here for it because we are not even close to being done. At the moment, Bitcoin is at $23,025. We're at 25. I think it was 23,525 or something like that. There's a lot of movement in the market. People are trying to slam the price down to buy more. There's a whole bunch of stuff about whales going on and whales moving money to different places. A lot of people sometimes get scared of whales moving money across blockchains because they don't know if they're going to be selling. They don't know if they're going to be doing whatever. I think a lot of it is just simply reallocation of funds. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's been like removing their cryptocurrencies to other places as like a, gotta move it. It's money. So a lot of the altcoins follow the exact same path as Bitcoin. Litecoin's doing fairly well. It's up by just around 7%. It's at $109. Ethereum's at $656. I mean, to be fair, we were not as high as we were just a couple of days ago. So these prices are still higher than we previously were before, just a smidge ago. Anything really crazy going on? Celsius is up by 6. Dash is up by 3. Anything crazy? No, nothing too crazy. Synthetics is up by 9. I don't know what a synthetics is, and don't even dare you try to tell me that is this amazing, wonderful new thing that's going to take over the world, because I know that it's not, and you know that it's not. Dogecoin is up by 7%. Decred is up by 25. Oh, okay. It's also on $25 million trading volume. If you put in $18 million into a trade, you're going to get this. Yeah, kind of cool. Anyway, I do hope that you all enjoyed. I'm going to try and make another video. My adrenaline... I've been telling friends, hello out there to you friend who messaged me yesterday, wondering if I was okay. I'm fine. It's just my adrenaline levels are very, very high. You've seen me. I don't drink coffee, and I have a difficult time drinking tea that has caffeine. People always ask me like, hey, bro, are you on something? And it's like, no, I don't do any recreational anything. I don't even drink. My energy levels are always naturally very high. So when you see me like this, it's purely me. Crypto has become a huge cornerstone of my life. You might have been able to tell. And when prices are rising, I already get bullish. Even when prices are going down and I see good news, because I know that it's going to eventually translate into price movements, my energy goes up. And the fact that we smashed past $20,000, it was like something snapped in my head, and my energy levels like propelled me so much further higher. But eventually, like when all the adrenaline is gone, I just crash, and I like. So I've been trying to make multiple videos a day to kind of like get the news out to everyone, but it's just so much for me. Like, it's the making the videos, it's the executing the news, it's the telling everyone what's going on, and like just reading the actual news that's still going on, and like my energy levels are, you understand what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I have a lot of energy. I think I've always been this way. It's just a matter of the cryptocurrency market is like really, it's like a good stress, but it's so much extra energy that I just wasn't prepared for. So I'm doing fine. I just get worn out very quick because once the boost is gone, it's gone. I do hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.